Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Ehrman.
Hello, and welcome to today's podcast. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for leaving a review. Whatever it is you decide to do, I like it all. All right. I am on a roll today. I am on a roll with a lot of things. And the German passion is coming out in full force. Some days, it's almost like it's not there. And then other days, woohoo, there it is. So put your seatbelts on, because I'm going to get a little fiery today. Okay, so we all know. You share Farming Without the Bank. You see it on Facebook, and people call me idiots. The other day, I got called an arrogant twat. Yep, that's what I got called. That apparently is my new MO. And so it is people that just can't handle new things, right? People that have to be super judgmental. They can't see one side or the other. It's always somebody taking advantage of somebody. And it just drives me crazy. The comments, they don't bother me. I don't lose sleep over them. That's for sure. But I don't find them funny because I have zero patience for ignorance. And I just don't find it funny. I don't find it humorous. I don't find it okay. I just get irritated with people that are ignorant. And there's not really any other way to say it. Because we choose not to see things. We are the ones choosing that. We are the ones choosing to stay where we're at. And so I recently was reading an article about some hemp growers that grew hemp, had a contract with a company that said, you grow this hemp, we will buy it from you. They did not buy it. And now the hemp is just sitting there. And this happened to quite a few farmers in an area. And I'm reading the comments, and in the comments, they're saying that it happened on the other side of the country as well, from where these guys were. And so it seemed in the early stages of the whole hemp growing, when apparently all these people that know everything, all the keyboard warriors are saying, well, there wasn't a market. What are you growing it for? Gosh, you guys are idiots. Hemp is never going to make money. Why would you grow hemp, right? This is all coming from the guys that will only plant corn, soybeans, barley, durum, only things that can be traded on the market. That's the people saying this. Yet, as somebody that works with farmers and ranchers all the time, all day long, every day of the week, I've talked to thousands of farmers over the years, yet I see a completely different side of it. I see hemp growers that are making money. I see people doing direct-to-consumer beef making money. I see people planting pumpkin patches and planting large crops of other things that aren't traded on the market that are making money, like pulse crops, right? And it's very interesting to me that here we do no-till. In the state of North Dakota, it is very odd for me to see somebody with summer felling. You just don't see it because people are doing no-till. But then I go to Nebraska, Wyoming, Southern Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and they're still doing summer fallow. They don't believe no-till works because they may have tried it, in the 90s and it didn't work because we didn't have it all figured out, but we're definitely not going to do it again. We tried it once and it failed. Heaven forbid we continually educate ourselves on something. So we can look at neighbors of where I grew up that said, well, we're not going to do no-till. And they summer fallowed until probably 5 years ago. And we've been doing no-till forever. It seems like forever. But yet, even though you can see across the fence, the guy doing no-till is probably doing better than the guy that's summer fallowing and working his ground, and his ground's just blowing away. Nope, we're not going to believe that. We're just going to close our eyes and not believe it, because by God, that is not what Grandpa did. So we aren't going to do it. And heaven forbid you look at anything else. And if you do and somebody tries something else, we better belittle them and tear them down and call them every name we can, including an arrogant twat, right? We had to dig deep for that. Because we're so angry that somebody is trying to show us something and somebody is trying to sell a book that we better say something about it. We're so angry that somebody tried to grow hemp and tried to diversify, which is exactly what farmers are told to do. They are trying to be the leading motivator in their field, right? Literally. They're trying to do something else. Bring something new in, and we call them idiots because you're too chicken shit to do it yourself? You don't want to take the risk? You don't want to look at it? You have got to be kidding me. This is the kind of stuff that I am seeing in the egg world all the time. And clearly, as I am yelling through this podcast today, it drives me insane because we have the arrival syndrome in this industry, something fierce. And if you don't know what the arrival syndrome is, it's probably because you've not read my book or listened to past podcasts. So let me briefly explain to you. The arrival syndrome is when you think you know everything and you have shut your mind off to learn anything new. That, my friends, is when we have a problem. When we can't look at all sides of things, we have a problem. I posted something on my Facebook page the other day, and one of my friends called me out and said, "No, Mary Jo, I do not agree with you, and this is why." And guess what? She had more knowledge in the subject than I did. And I replied and said, valid points. I can now understand why X, Y, and Z happened. Because I was open to criticism. I was open to learning something. I didn't know everything. And I appreciate the fact that I was called out. I had a guy on my Facebook ad commenting about how he's got 25 years of experience in banking and rattled off all this BS crap that he's done, and his resume, which who gives a crap? If y'all know me, I don't care about your resume and I don't care about all the letters behind your name. Because if you're not open to hearing something, who cares what your letters are? So this guy is spouting off about how a life insurance policy is not the only answer, and people that sell life insurance think it's the only answer. But banks aren't that bad. If you listen to me, everything he said, I agreed with. Everything. Farmers need to understand their finances. They need to run it like a business. We get to use banks as leverage, right? All those things I talk about. But was he smart enough to go and actually listen to the podcast when I said, please go listen to my podcast because we agree on 99.9% of the stuff we're talking about here? Nope. Instead, he must come back and tell me once again how brilliant he is with his resume. Arrival syndrome at its finest. We're tearing people down in our own industry instead of trying to help them, instead of him coming in and saying, how can I understand better what you do before I judge you? No. We're just going to judge. And we're just going to call people names. And then we're going to have the keyboard warriors come out. We're just going to fight on Facebook because somebody tried to get ahead. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, what a great lesson we can learn from these people growing hemp that had bad contracts. What is the lesson we can learn here? One, we tried to diversify, right? It didn't go well because the other people on the other end did not fulfill their contract. We had a contract. the risk and understanding hemp. This is good too. And I get equally as mad at the life insurance company when I have a hemp grower and the life insurance company says, oh, I can't insure them because it's not legal. It's not legal? Since when is hemp not legal? Marijuana is not legal. Hemp doesn't have the THC. If it has the THC, it has to be destroyed. It has to be tested. So then there are people commenting about the fact that it has THC and it's a drug. Ignorance at its finest. And people that are farmers commenting about this, putting their 2 cents in when they have not done the research. Because it's too scary. Why would we do it? Why would we do rotational grazing? Because we've never done it that way. Why would we do that? Why would we put any validity to that? And if you don't know what I'm talking about with rotational grazing and regenerative agriculture, then you may want to go to the Working Cows podcast, listen to what Clay has to say. You may want to Google Gabe Brown and get some information there. Because I run across people all the time that don't know about this. And it's funny because I say, well, geez, you're spending a lot of money on chemical and fertilizer. Is it an option for you? I don't know. I don't know if it's an option for you in your operation. Because I'm not telling you how to farm to make money. I'm telling you what to do with the money you have made, right? I'm teaching you how to better utilize your money. I'm not telling you what to plant, how to plant it, when to harvest, what chemical and fertilizer to use. That's not what Farming Without the Bank is. But there are other people out there that do those things. And if what you're doing isn't working, look into these other options. Going back to no-till, I have a client in Washington that is teaching people how to no-till. They're giving incentives to people in Washington to no-till. And those of us in North Dakota, almost every single farmer here, I would guess, is no-tilling. But heaven forbid we do something different in Washington, in Colorado, in Nebraska, in Kansas. Heaven forbid. I have a client in Nebraska that is a pulse grower, and his neighbors are too scared to grow soybeans, too scared to grow a pulse crop, because that's not what they grow down there. Yet he's doing it, and he's successful at it. And he is constantly educating himself. Oh my gosh, my blood pressure probably went to normal because I have really low blood pressure, for those of you that think that I would probably want my head to blow up by now. My blood pressure is like ridiculously low. So it's probably up to normal right now. Open your eyes. It is not your responsibility to judge somebody. It is your responsibility to keep an open mind and not have the arrival syndrome and then complain and moan because, oh, somebody tried something different. Well, guess what? If they tried it, you get to learn from it, don't you? But they were the ones that put their neck on the line to risk that new commodity option. Because if you never try it, how do you know? Don't tell me infinite banking doesn't work. Don't tell me Farming Without the Bank doesn't work when you've not read the book, when you've just talked to your neighbor about it. What does your neighbor know if he's never had a policy, if he's never done infinite banking? I had a very nice young man this week that said, oh, I read your book 2 years ago when I went to my local agent. I don't think my policy's right. His policy is nothing close to being an infinite banking policy. Nothing close. Yet the agent, who is in his late 60s, said, yep, I've heard about people doing that. I can do that for you. You heard about it or you learned it, right? Is it right to call this kid an idiot and make fun of him because he went to the wrong person? Absolutely not. He did exactly what I said not to do in the book, but that's human nature, right? People do it all the time, and then they come to me and the policy's not correct and it needs to be fixed or whatever needs to happen. It happens all the time. It's a learning lesson. Some people have to learn that lesson on their own. Some people are going to watch from afar. And then some people are just too chicken to ever do anything but criticize. It is seriously disheartening to me to see, and I rarely read comments. Rarely, because this is what happens. I get so irritated by people that think they can call other people names. I rarely read comments. And a lot of times, this is what's going to happen. People, like the people in this article, they stuck their neck on the line putting their names in that article. They really did, because now people know who they are, because there were more farmers than just these that were in on this lawsuit. And guess what? Their names weren't in the paper. Their names weren't exposed. So now nobody knows who they are. They stay under the radar. So instead of being thankful for the people that put their neck on the line to teach you something and share their loss with you so you don't have to go through it yourself, instead we cut them down. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I am by no means perfect, but I am sick and tired of seeing this industry fight with each other. Instead of trying to work together and come to some kind of common ground, I'm really tired of seeing the fighting. Even in my own industry, I don't fight with financial advisors. If you want to talk to me, I'd be happy to talk to you. If you're a banker that isn't going to send me some resume and make yourself sound so important that I'm an idiot because you're so much smarter, I'd be happy to talk to you and share this with you. If you're an accountant, I'd be happy to talk to you and share this with you. Most of them don't call me. Most of them are scared of me because immediately they go into defense. We don't have to agree. We can very easily agree to disagree. And we can still respect one another. But we won't respect one another when all we do is belittle each other because somebody is trying something new and we don't agree with it. Folks, you're adults. Grow up and act like adults. Okay, that was a lot of ranting, but it's absolutely ridiculous. If you want to grow hemp, obviously there's a need for hemp. And it's recyclables, it's fabrics, it's oils, it's whatever. If you use hemp, somebody's got to grow it. If you use it on your back, somebody's got to grow it. If you use it in fabric, somebody's got to grow it. If we don't grow it here, we have to import it, right? So why not grow it? Why not be in the forefront of that movement? If somebody wanted to do it, let them do it. At the end of the day, these folks got screwed in a contract. Instead of understanding that, geez, I had a contract and I fulfilled my side of the contract, but they didn't. How do I learn from that on the contract side? What do I need to do with my contracts in the future so that doesn't happen to me on anything that I grow or anything that I produce? How many ranchers have had contracts that somebody's going to buy calves and they don't? We don't get mad at them. Then we get mad at the contract, right? The guy not fulfilling his contract and paying for the calves. We wouldn't tell somebody he's an idiot because he had calves and contracted them. Would we? No, we wouldn't, because calves are normal. Apparently there's a need for them. Apparently there was no need for hemp. Really? How do you know this? Do you know the hemp market like nobody's business? If you don't want to try it, don't knock somebody else for trying it. Oh my gosh, I'm just never going to stop. I better stop. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with my rant. I appreciate you. If you have not gotten the book Farming Without the Bank yet, or becoming your own banker, please do so. If you know somebody that is not a farmer, I still meet with non-farmers. It's funny when people that don't farm go, but I don't farm. Is that okay? That's totally okay. That's why I wrote the book Life Without the Bank. So please feel free to grab those books, share them. Christmas is right around the corner. Share them and get them out so that, maybe people can criticize you for looking at the infinite banking concept. And then you can laugh all the way to the bank when your farm is going to get saved and theirs isn't. All right. As always, if you guys have comments, questions, concerns, please let me know. MaryJo@withoutthebank.com. I am absolutely happy to answer those for you. If you need anything, you know where we're at. Until next week, don't have the arrival syndrome. Be open-minded and just be kind. Talk to you later.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.